All right. Well, according to StreamYard, we are live.
There's always like a little bit of a delay between StreamYard and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's usually like 30 seconds. Not too much.
Don't knock over my computer, bud.
Oh, I have eyeballs though, which is good. So, hello everyone who's here. Welcome to our May Stitch and Bitch. My name is Bree. This is Bree Reads Books. I'm hosting for the month. Let's go around the room and we'll introduce ourselves. We will start in, hold on, let me drop an order in our chat. We'll go with this order. I'm arbitrarily deciding.
Wait, what order?
In the comments.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the comments.
You're first.
Oh, private comments.
Oh, me. Okay. So, hello. I'm Rhea. My channel is The Bookfinch, and I usually talk about fantasy mostly. Sometimes I dabble in science fiction, and I dabble a lot lately in webtoons, comics, and manga. So, yeah, on to Die.
Hi, I'm Diana. The adorable void is Luke. And my channel is Bookish Die. I mostly read science fiction fantasy, although I've been reading more nonfiction lately.
Nice.
Yep. My name is Rachel. My channel is Colonnati, where I mostly talk about science fiction and fantasy and nonfiction and romance and like everything else too. But I have actually been making some videos recently, so maybe the dry spell is over.
Coming back all refreshed, rejuvenated, and inspired. That's the goal, isn't it?
I don't know about rejuvenated, but
something.
I feel like rejuvenated is asking a bit much in these pandemic times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Feeling
functional
better,
is maybe the goal.
Yeah.
Well, what's everyone making?
I can go first because I think we normally do like -1 for the next one. I'm still working on the sweater, which Luke is currently making biscuits on, so it's hard to show. But I've made progress with the sleeve.
Yay!
This one is just slow work because I just kind of work on it off and on if I'm in meetings.
Yeah.
And then I still haven't finished the damn book blanket, and it's because I'm like working on the last row and I lost my notebook that had what I need. So I need to find a way. Because I can't just use Goodreads because I had switched up the order so it wouldn't be like several blocks of like romance in a row. So I need to go and look and figure out the order.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it yet because I'm just like so sad that like I've had this notebook for so long and then I lose it right towards the end.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know.
You'll find it the minute that you refigure everything out.
So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure I left it at work somewhere and it got turned into the lost and found or thrown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, Luke.
I know. He's being very cute.
Those cheeks.
We have a new black neighborhood void kitty whose name is Huckshila. And so we've been calling him Ho-Ho. And he comes to our porch every day. Part of his rounds.
Love it.
All right, I'll go next then. I am working on Brioche Socks. So I'm actually doing a toe-up sock, as you can see. I've never successfully done this before, and I do not like toe-up socks. I just really don't. But they're turning out pretty well. I've made so many mistakes on these things, and I'm fudging it, but they fit, and that's what matters. So, yeah.
For sure. Rhea, what are you working on?
Oh, me. I finished the scarf that I was making the last time, and I already gave it to my mom. But I have started a blanket.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
nice.
That's super pretty.
So
I love the colors.
Yeah, so basically it's gonna go like So this is number 1. So the next row is always gonna start with like -1 of the row before. So this one is 1, then second. The next row would start with the third motif. I made a whole like grid so that I can keep up with the different like motifs that I made. So
Is it like
that's what I'm working on.
Is it join as you go, or are you just piecing?
Yeah, join as you go. I'm also like weaving in the ends of like every motif as I'm finishing them, because I just feel like it's gonna, in the long run, I'm gonna thank myself for it, even though it would probably be faster to just move on to the next motif and like join as I go and just not worry about it. But like the future Rhea is gonna like sing my praises and be very thankful when they don't have to weave in all the hundreds of ends, because I'm trying to make this like 80 centimeters by 2 meters.
Okay.
Like basically a full size single blanket.
Yeah.
It's big size.
Yep.
Well, I am working on the lodestar, which I don't know if you can maybe see parts of the star.
Cool. Is that a sweater?
Yeah, it's a sweater. So we will see. It's got 4 points. One ends here, one in the back on the same side, and then at each of the shoulders. So I'm almost done with the yoke, and then it is on to mindless body island, which exactly what I want.
I can't remember. Is that a short sleeve top?
No, it's long sleeve.
Okay.
So
you're gonna have sleeve island too.
I will have sleeve island too, but it's DK weight, so like sleeve island doesn't stink quite as much.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what like with this damn blanket, like I was looking at the I had already known that I wanted to make this particular like pattern. This is like once again from Hooked by Robin, but like I had, for some reason, I had thought that I have all the colors and I have all the yarn in the world, that I can just go through my stash and find something I like. And in the end, I didn't. And I once again had to buy a new set of yarn for this.
That's the rule of the universe. Doesn't matter how much you have in your stash, you'll be just a little bit short of that one thing that you want.
Yeah. The right color will not be there at the right moment.
Yes.
Never,
yes,
ever.
I felt very antagonized by my yarn stash.
Come on, the people want to see you.
I expect it's the same thing for a fabric stash. It's like, oh, I'm like half a yard short for this one project. Gotta go, buy 6 yards of something else.
Yep. Can speak from experience that this is exactly the case.
I'm about to go down this route. I'm seriously debating just buying like 5 yards of this red silk that I want. Like I don't even have a project idea. I'm just like, I want it. If I get enough of it, I'll be sure to have enough for whatever I choose.
Other than the world's most beautiful Christmas dress.
I was talking to Ray about this before, actually, about like what I could make with this, because it is a silk dupioni, and like what kind of skirt would that be good to do?
Yeah.
Because I'm currently going down the route of trying to figure out if I like circle skirts, but I'm not sure that silk dupioni has the drape for it.
Yeah, I'd be.
Or if like I probably couldn't do a full circle skirt. It like had to be like a half one or something, or a pleated skirt. But yes, I was like, if I could do this like really deep red, it's like iridescent. It's like red and black. So
nice.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Like, this would be amazing.
Well, is it like is the fabric woven in like that the other like thread is another color and the other, so that it kind of has the oil ripple? Yeah, I love those. I had like, I still have some of I like my sister's graduation dress was made from like this really like almost like poison green, and then it had a dark navy blue. was the other color, so it kind of rippled between green
Yeah.
and like navy, and it was super cool. And also like I've had pink like fuchsia and yellow like goldenrod, and that was also a very nice combo. I just generally like that effect a lot.
It is so pretty in silk. I didn't think I really loved the look of it until seeing some in person, and was like, wow, that is actually very impressive.
Yeah, it immediately gives a fabric a very luxurious look, even if it's not the most expensive fabric.
But I'm not sure. I should probably be responsible and not buy it until I know what I want to do. But
Yes, I know.
Mama.
I was surprised like it wasn't horrifically expensive, which is why I've been contemplating it, but now I've confused myself. Okay.
It is. I always think of like, for me, summer is sewing season,
Mm-hmm.
and like fall, winter is knitting. Not that I don't do a little bit of both year round, but
I hadn't touched my sewing machine since September last year, I think. And then like last weekend, I was just like, I want to make something. I want to make all of the things. And I went to Joann's to get fabric, and I walked out with everything for a skirt and 2 more patterns. And it's like, it's summer, but I want to make capes.
I mean, I kind of loathe that we just don't have enough space in this apartment for me to like full on spread out and do pattern stuff. But luckily, our office has all the space. So I've just I've just decided that I can sometimes stay like behind after work and just use some empty office to like do the pattern drafting.
Why not? Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, we are slowly realizing that we do not have enough space in this house, especially now with the kiddo. So we will see how long that lasts. My dad came over for the first time in like forever, and I have reorganized my craft closet. He was like, "You don't have that much crafting stuff." I was like, and I opened the door. He was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
Oh,
I realized last year that like I'm contemplating moving house so that I'll have more room for my hobbies. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I mean, there are worse reasons to move house. So if you have the resources and ability, I mean, go for it. You only
now
live
is a
once.
terrible time to move, though. It's like I'm ready. I would like to. I have so many reasons to move, but house pricing is just insane.
Is it bad where you are too?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think it was last summer. There was actually a house for sale, not that far from me, like a little bit closer to the neighborhood I want to be in. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go into the open house. Like, I want to see this house right now. And by the time that I called the realtor and got somebody to actually talk to me, they were like, it is already under contract. And like 4 other people were trying to make offers on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was on the market for less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Whoa.
Remind me to talk to you later about some of the stuff our realtor talked to us about when because we've started slowly looking at houses and looking through our options. So.
Yeah, I've been debating that. It's like, how serious am I about this? Because if I want to move, like, how soon should I start talking to a realtor?
Yeah.
I just don't think it's realistic for it to happen until next year at earliest. So
yeah.
I've just accepted that if I stay where I am, I'm never going to be able to buy a house because like Pacific Northwest housing prices are already ridiculous. On top of that, it's a college town, so people tend to buy houses here and turn them into rentals. And then the new units that are being built tend to be bigger houses, which sometimes tend to be bought and turned into rentals. And like the type that I would want, like a small, like 2 or 3 bedroom, like almost never comes up on the market. And if it does, like I saw one that was like $330,000.
Yeah.
Which like I can't afford.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that most of the houses in the area of the country that I live in, that like I like the size of house and in the kind of neighborhood that I want, it's going to be over 150,000.
I would dance naked in the street if something that wasn't a prefab came up for 150,000 here.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to stay in the Helsinki metropolitan area and buy a flat here, I'm looking at minimum to cover like all of the like square footage that I want and need for my purposes. I'm looking at least 300,000 euros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's minimum. That's like the bare minimum, most likely. At least if I want a flat or a house that's like has the plumbing reno already done, which is like I am never going to move into another apartment that's waiting for a plumbing reno because it's a nightmare. I hate it.
That's the thing, like the reason why like I'm upping my like house budget, like what I'm looking for, is I don't want to get another house that needs to have all the rewiring done.
Yeah.
That's just like it's not uncommon here. You know, a lot of houses that are built in like the 40s and the 50s and they've never been updated. So they're good houses, but then you have to spend the first year fixing everything that got, you know, pointed out during the inspection. And it's like, okay, it's a, you know, death trap because the wiring is 80 years old.
Yeah. Here is like, does it have the plumbing reno done, and was it built before there was a ban on asbestos?
Oh yeah.
I honestly wouldn't want to I don't really want a house. I prefer a condo, but like no condos are being built here,
which almost surprises me because you'd think that they would be very, very popular.
No, like everything here is like big houses, and like 3 families own most of the rental properties here.
Yeah.
I also like that Joe is like, I'm slowly learning more about fabrics and such, more than I ever expected on BookTube.
Wait until we start talking about like weave structure and stuff.
Oh my gosh. Joe, if you get really curious, let me know. I've got all of the videos you can watch. Just like a playlist after playlist.
Oh my god. One of my Twitter mutuals just got a new kitten and she's so cute. She's this little Siberian and she's so fluffy.
Gosh.
Oh, those are like I can't with Siberians. They're too much. Also, did you know that they're probably one of the only like you can test Siberian cats for a specific genetic to like, because some of them are like they don't cause allergies in cat allergic people.
That's why this person like has them, is because Siberians tend to be more hypoallergenic than other cats.
They usually like they have this specific gene that makes their dandruff different.
Huh.
Because the dandruff is the main cause of the allergy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I suppose we should ask what everyone has been reading.
Does Rachel want to start?
Araya and I are currently buddy reading Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse, which is, I don't know, so far it's mostly our beloved characters running around and just ever so slightly missing each other.
Yep.
Like, I'm basically reading this story to find out if Serapio and Ciala ever actually cross paths again, because they are our lovers that we want them to be back together. Even though I think that both of them might be, you know, terrible people.
But not for each other.
I know.
They might be terrible people, but they're good for each other.
Yes.
Maybe.
I mean, aside from the fact that one of them is like, you know, a mass murderer, and then the other one is like a relatively promiscuous drunken sailor.
I feel like that's two different levels, though. I feel like Jill is like your swashbuckler compared to the avatar of a vengeful god.
True.
Yeah. I mean, each brings their own baggage to the relationship. I think they're like pretty well matched.
They are. They are.
I still need to read it. I have been trying to read some library books first.
I accidentally went on a work trip and had to spend like 4 hours in a single day in a train, and then I just like made like huge leaps in the story, and I think Rachel is still trying to catch me up.
I'm still trying to catch up, yeah.
I mean, that actually sounds like really lovely as like a way to spend the day, though.
It is. It was a very, very lovely, like, chill trip.
Yeah. I'm lagging behind too because I'm trying to read other things at the moment.
Yeah.
I've started A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger.
Oh, I want to read that.
That's on my list. I need to get started on my Hugo reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also started, speaking of Hugo reading, Across the Green Grass Fields, which is one of the novella nominees by Shauna Maguire. I started that. It's been a while since I read one of the Wayward Children novellas, and I there's so much I just don't remember, but I'm like about a third of the way through this one, and I'm like, the writing style is just coming off as very like twee or something. It's like, is this the way that Shauna Maguire has always written, or is it just not working for me right now?
I don't know, because I feel like with Shauna Maguire, and especially with the Wayward series, the Wayward Children series, I find it very hit or miss. Like, it's either like, wow, I loved that, but like very meh.
Yeah.
So
this particular one, I feel like it's very not fitting into the perfect box of feminine girlhood. It's like that's kind of the theme of it is
sure.
The main character, not to be, I don't think that's a spoiler, but the main character is intersex, and they're struggling with like their friend group and not performing girlhood the way that everybody thinks they should. And there's something about the theme of this that just is, I think probably the stories in the series that I've liked the most have been the more relatable ones. Maybe that's why they're kind of hit or miss for me. But I feel like this is just very repetitive in its message. And I'm like, give me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Let's see. So I read with my partner and I together listened to the audiobook of The Serpent and the Swan, which I guess was big over on Book Talk. And it was.
I feel like here's the thing. Everything I've seen, like all the people who are like, oh, I'm reading something that's big on Book Talk, like for the most part, I'm just like, Book Talk, what are you doing?
That's how I feel about it. And like somebody else picked it out for us to read and was like, you should read this. And so we like listened to it on audiobook. I mean, aside from the fact that like we had a phenomenal time laughing together, it was a lot of like the main guy character being like, she's into frivolous things like flowers. Like, okay. Like,
so like the new thing, like I've seen, oh God, Bethany, Mari, I've seen like 3 separate four, including Jess Owens, like 4 separate booktube people like pick up the first book of the Zodiac Academy because it's big on Book Talk, and pretty much everyone is like, what did I just read derogatory?
Yeah. I feel like it's just one of those moments of it's so clear the age skew difference. Right?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like that, like skewing, like,
oh
like
no,
I just I just sometimes feel like, and this is like a content preference thing, but I think that part of the reason why I personally can't get into book talk or TikTok in general is that it's too fast paced. Like other people like it exactly for that reason. You just scroll these short Vine type videos endlessly, and that's fine, but that just triggers something in my brain that I will lose all ability to focus on anything that is being said ever. And I can scroll, and then I wouldn't be able to reiterate anything that has been said, because it just, something about it just doesn't mesh with how my brain works. So I'm definitely like long form content all the way. Like in booktube as well, I'm probably in the minority when I'm like, my favorite videos are the 36-40 minute videos.
Those are mine.
Sure, I will use 1.5 speed at most times, but anyway, that's like the like my personal favorite preference is like something like sweet spot, like 35 minutes with 1.5 speed. That's like sweet spot.
I almost want it to be more of like a podcast length review and discussion. I'm also a huge, like, I love a video essay like nobody's business.
Look who's here.
Leia.
My little trunk. She's like, I don't want to be person. Fuck you.
I mean, I have my bribes for later. If my cats don't start showing up, I will start ASMRing them.
Bribes when you have a lap.
I think Elise has an interesting point, though. It does feel like book talk is very much where booktube was 8 years ago.
Yeah,
I think it's like kind of the growing pains of like new platforms.
I get the feeling that book talk is much, much bigger than booktube was 8 years ago, though.
Oh yeah.
You don't get to drink coffee, ma'am.
Are you sure? Coffee plus cat equals good.
Coffee is good for me. It is not good for her.
Coffee plus cat equals good.
No one wants to see your butt, Leia.
I don't know. I've been so we listened to that, and then I'm gonna be listening to Iron Widow is my next.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for some giant mech action.
Speaking of Siran Zhao and TikTok, did you see?
Oh, I did.
Did you see the thing on Twitter?
Oh my god!
No, what?
Okay, hold on. Let me.
I love that.
It is hilarious.
It is.
If you have not, in general, if you have not looked at Jean Zhao, I can never like it's
Jiran Zhao.
Yeah, if you have not looked at no, I can say it. I just can't say it all in like a row. It's like Irish wristwatch.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what they wrote. So I guess they had put on TikTok like something about them signing books where they either live or where they are, and then they tweet out, "New piping hot take just dropped. Signing a book you wrote with the permission of the bookstore employees is narcissistic vandalism." And they screenshot TikTok comments. And I guess someone had asked about if they had commented like asking if they had the permission. And they said, haha, I always ask the employees if I can sign and they usually believe who I am right away. And someone commented, I don't think employees have the authority to allow you. Neither they nor you own the copies of your books in the stores. Because she doesn't own the books. This is technically vandalism. Yes, they have had nice, albeit slightly narcissistic intentions, but it's still not legal.
Yep.
And then the follow-up, Gironde said, you think me signing a book I wrote with the permission of the store employees is vandalism? Laugh my ass off. And the commenter was like, yes, neither you nor the employees own the book. For fuck's sake, the level of entitlement is unreal. The employees didn't have the right to give you permission.
Oh my God. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound a little crass, but like, calm your tits.
I mean,
That's a little much.
I feel like someone had like some bookseller, like everyone was commenting on Twitter about like how bookstores have those like signed by the author stickers, and one bookseller had like taken those stickers and then wrote with Sharpie on top like vandalized by the author, like and then like quote
the
Peter
whole
Zhao with like I am now fully prepared for when you next visit. It was delightful. I have one more flower done.
Yay,
now I can start joining.
Not related to books, but they just announced that David Tennant and Catherine Tate are coming back for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who next year as Ten and Donna. And even though I'm still going to be forever bitter about how Donna was treated at the end and how Russell T Davies is cordially invited to meet me in the Denny's parking lot, I'm still excited. I love Ten and Donna so much.
I mean, for me, they will always be Scrooge and Magica.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, I am also reading Fevered Star currently, and also like a heck of a ton of new webtoons. I'm actually planning on having like 2 webtoon like recommendations videos coming up like in the next couple of weeks. I just had to actually like finish series so that I know what I want to recommend, because I don't want to recommend series where I haven't read at least 1 full season of the thing. Sure. Because otherwise I feel like I'm setting myself up for a failure when the series inevitably goes down in quality. That said, I just decided to DNF True Beauty by Youngie after 207 episodes. And like 3 years I have been reading it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. Like it updates once a week. So, and I started reading it when it was already been like a hot minute when it had started running. Yeah. And so if you take like 52 weeks a year, and I read like 270 chapters, but yeah, it just wasn't going anywhere. And now it was going to bring back the dreaded love triangle that it had already resolved. And I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. Like, come on. So I decided that now for my own mental health, it is better to just like exit and focus on other things, like The Doctors Are Out, which is by a Philippine author artist, which is about a veterinarian and a doctor, a medical doctor who like, they have clinics in neighboring buildings, and they have almost the same surname with 1 like syllable like difference, and because of this they get like mistaken for each other, and people like the patients from each of their clinics start flocking into their like clinics, and they have this animosity towards each other at first because of this, and then that slowly builds into friendship, and it's so wholesome, it's so cute, and yeah, I've definitely been loving that one. And then because Translate-a-thon starts tomorrow,
yeah,
I have these 2 that I'm starting next. So this is Waist Tide by Chen Chiufan, and this is Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation by Mo Xiang Dongxiu. So these are gonna be my first like priorities for this upcoming week that I'm going to start reading. And also I'm gonna give Rachel some time to catch up to me on Fevered Star, because I'm like on chapter 21, so I have time to wait. I can focus on other things in the meantime.
Yeah.
I am currently in the middle of Daughter of the Moon Goddess, so I'm taking a bit of a break from it because I was by Celine Tan. I was having some problems with it, and I realized it's because, especially like the first third, read very YA, which is isn't what I was looking for because it's an adult book.
Mm-hmm.
So even though like it does have crossover potential, the beginning was just reading so YA to me, and I just like wasn't feeling it. And when I realized like, oh, this is why I'm having issues with it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just take a break from it and then come back after I read something else.
I am also going to be reading that at some point.
Yeah, just be prepared. Like I have some other issues involving the pacing of the first part.
Mm-hmm.
But like just be prepared that especially like the first 10 chapters are very YA-esque in terms of like plot and just pace. I don't know. Like I said, I was not expecting it to read so YA when I picked it up. But as a distraction, I'm currently on a bit of a Star Wars binge because my copy of Brotherhood by Mike Chen came in, which is the new Obi-Wan and Anakin novel. And he had said like this is some stuff that you should read beforehand or like know where I got inspiration from. And so I'm like, well, you know, I think I'm just gonna reread Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray, read E.K. Johnston's Padme trilogy, and then read Brotherhood and do a vlog project for it.
I mean, why not?
So, and it turns out I was lucky enough to get audiobooks for, like, even though I own the physical books, I just kind of wanted an audiobook. So I listened to Master and Apprentice yesterday, and then I have the audiobooks for the Padme trilogy checked out right now.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I forgot how much I love Claudia Gray's Star Wars writing. I also, since we last read my worst book so far this year.
Which was?
Oh.
It was Foul. It's basically a FIFA corruption book by Andrew Jennings. And
is this about football?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's Foul, the Secret World of FIFA, Bribes, Vote Rigging, and Ticket Scandals. And I had problems with numerous parts. One is, so it's from 2007. And so like stuff that was probably like really revelatory then is just kind of like old news now. So there wasn't a whole lot that I learned. And also the structure was just all over the place. Like there was no kind of through line narrative. Like it jumped back and forth and it was just really messy that way. And there were times where I could tell that the author had written for the Daily Mail. That's in terms of like how he was. I don't know. It definitely was my least favorite book I've read this year.
That is cracking me up.
Daily Mail. Oh, I see Elise has found semantic error. I am so happy because I've read the first 2 seasons of it and now it's on hiatus and waiting for the 3rd season to start, and I am already like in my feels about it because I'm missing my boys. It's definitely one of the better webcomics that I've read.
Do you ever have one of those moments where you're like, what did I just do?
Yes. I have those every day, especially when I go to work and I go to like have a cup of coffee and I walk to the coffee machine and immediately forget that I was supposed to get coffee. And then I just stare blank-eyed for a moment, just trying to like get myself together and figure out what I was planning to do.
Yep. I think I'm not very chatty today. I'm like just zenning out here.
I'm just calculating all of my rows and stitches.
Let's see, I'm trying to think of what else is up. So my partner has been playing Final Fantasy while I watch, and I've never played or watched it.
Which one?
I think 10.
Is it the one with Titus?
Yes. Except for he lets me choose the name, so I called him Chad, and then all of the little spirit guys.
Well,
were
he
naming
looks
after...
like Chad. That is
He's
a very
himbo.
accurate representation for him.
He's got super himbo vibes, down to the like crop top sweater thing he's got going down, and the Meg Ryan hair.
Yeah.
So that is what we've been doing with our free time. I've also named all of they're not spirits. What are they called?
They're summons.
Yeah, the summons.
I don't remember. Were they called Eidolons in the 10? Because they always always change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
In each game, like for example, in Final Fantasy VIII, they're called Guardian Force, and then in
I think Alons, whatever they are, I've been naming them after Hanna-Barbera characters. So far we have Bullwinkle, because you can't fit all of Bullwinkle in, and we have Atomic Ant. So that is that is
the fact that I know which ones you're referencing is even worse.
Yeah, so that's what we've been doing with our evenings. Thought you might get a kick out of that.
I mean, I'm somehow really uptight. I never rename any character. It just feels wrong.
That's fair enough. I probably wouldn't do it with my... Well, okay, that's not true. When I played Pokemon as a kid, I used to name Gary after my brother. But I would also name it like Dutch is a poop. Like...
I mean, I don't know if I've just never been a very imaginative... Like, I just somehow, like, even as a kid, I always wanted to keep the, like, sort of canon names because I felt like a story was being told to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never, like, for example, Link in Zelda, I always, like, he's just Link. I never rename him.
Okay, I never renamed him, but I did also think that he was Zelda for a very long time. Because it never made sense to me that The Legend of Zelda was not remotely actually about Zelda. And I'm still a little cranky that it's like, why can't we make one where Zelda goes on the adventure? And the answer is, what would Link do? What?
Then it would be The Legend of Link.
Or, I don't know, Link can sit tight and hang out for a little while. We can't give him a side plot?
I mean, I feel like the whole naming convention behind Legend of Zelda has never made much sense to me, but then again, I've also never really cared about it that much.
Yeah.
I have been playing Trine with like Trine is a series by Frozen Byte Games, and I have been playing the first one with Joe on and off. We have like whenever both of us aren't busy, we try to play a little bit. So last time we were stuck in the like boss dungeon of the game for like 2 hours, and then I started getting real salty about us not beating the boss. Like it started actually like the gaming experience wasn't funny to me anymore because I kept dying all the time, and I started getting real salty. But it you know that feeling when it gets like super cringe and like you start to laugh because otherwise you would cry.
Yeah.
Like that was the feeling after like the 12th time I had fallen into hot lava. Because the last level of the game is like there's this rising tide of lava, and you have to like platform jump on these like moving platforms. It's basically like a changing labyrinth, but vertical, and you have to get to the top. All the while there are like enemies coming at you, so it's really stressful.
I was gonna say, you do this for fun? That just sounds horrible.
Well, it's fun because it's me and Joe doing it. So it's so half of the fun is just being able to hang out.
True. I have a total non sequitur question for Rachel. Are you finding that the brioche sock is super stretchy though?
It is, yeah. And I'm actually kind of struggling with this, like, will it be too loose? Because I don't know if I decreased enough stitches. So
yeah, that's what I would be nervous about.
This pattern is extremely detailed. Like, it's very well thought out, and it tries to accommodate like just how stretchy brioche is. But I've run into a problem because my gauge is off already. Like, I'm just such a loose knitter that it's impossible for me to get the gauge that this pattern calls for. So I went down 3 sizes from what I was supposed to, basically. And I think it'll fit, but now that's part of the reason I don't like the toe up method, because I'm just not sure if because you have to do all those decreases when you've done the heel so that it then fits your ankle and then your leg. And I'm worried it's going to be really loose around the ankle. So,
yeah.
But it's really fun to knit. I will say that. Like, I've been kind of frustrated with not being able to follow the pattern exactly. But I do love knitting brioche.
I know you do.
I mean, my mom just recently had when I went to visit, she showed me these socks she had made with contrasting colors, that they were kind of like Harley Quinn type socks, that the other sock is basically identical but just the color swapped. And
yeah.
she was complaining that the other sock is slightly smaller, almost a size smaller, because the other yarn that she was using as the main yarn in the other one was not the thread was a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
So she was complaining, now I have to make this sock again with a new gauge. And I was like, wow, you have been knitting for 60 years or something, and you still run into these kinds of problems. That makes me feel so much better about myself.
I've been seriously thinking that if this sock doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to rip it out and basically knit socks 2 and 3 to fix all my mistakes. I have ripped this thing back 6 times. I had to do the heel 3 times.
So I got this scruffy yarn. Hold on. Let me grab it because it's right over here.
Scruffy yarn.
Yeah, it's made of the same material as, if I can grab it. It's made of the same material as scrubbing pads.
Oh, that kind of yarn that you actually can make the scrubbing pad.
Oh yeah.
And so I was gonna make little starfish out of it.
So
that I can have little scrubby starfish.
Yeah.
I love that.
I recently watched a Korean drama where the main male romantic lead actually knits and was part of a knitting club in university, and then he makes gifts for the female lead's grandma, which are these color coded knitted scrubbing things precisely out of that kind of yarn. And I just thought that it was cute.
Is it just me, or is knitting and sewing and stuff showing up more in media? I feel there's just more mentions of it in books that I read, stuff contemporary stuff. So
well,
yeah, I feel all kinds of fiber arts and other slow things are coming.
I just started to watch The Great Pottery Throwdown on HBO.
Is it good?
It's really fun. It doesn't have the comedian host vibe that the original Great British Bake Off had for me, but it's so cool. It really, really is. And one of the judges, the male judge, he was one of the experts on the Victorian arts and crafts house program that was on Acorn. He's the pottery expert, and when he's like really moved by a piece, he cries on camera.
I love it.
It's very endearing for whatever reason. Like and it's really interesting to see people making art that like they actually like connect with or whatever.
Yeah.
To see the judges appreciate that. But I don't really know anything about pottery. Just like the basic stages of it. But I really like that they give them so much time, because when they're doing pottery, you can, make the rough thing in an hour or two, but then it has to dry for like a day and a half, and then it has to be fired and then fired again, and then it has to be glazed and fired again.
Yeah, pottery is a really like time consuming.
Yeah.
And especially if you're using like different glazing techniques. I took pottery for like 2 years when I was like in like high school, and like middle school and high school that time. So I took pottery lessons. It was one of my hobbies. And even like if you have like specific like glazing techniques that you want to try out, or different clays that you want to try, like the drying and like like kiln times are like solely dependent on like the different materials and what you want to accomplish. So it's like
they also, for the show, they made they have like a dedicated kiln worker who does all their stuff. So they like incorporated the like this historical kiln city into the program, and so the guy who does all of their kiln firing is part of the program as well, which I really like. They don't usually have that kind of other person aside from the judges and stuff. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and it's really impressive, especially like how dramatically things change after the glazing.
Yeah,
I didn't realize, like I kind of knew about like the oxides and stuff. Like you literally paint on the glaze in one color, it'll be like this real muddy color, and then it'll come out like green, like beautiful bright green. I'm like, this is amazing.
Also, you sometimes just don't know what the color is gonna look like until like after it's been burned.
Yeah. So growing up, I spent every summer with my aunt, and she stayed at her mother-in-law's place. And her mother-in-law had started the pottery department at the university that was nearby. Ooh. So like everything was just like 50s, 60s, 70s studio pottery. And my mom was like, you can tell how much that influenced you as a kid if you go and make it. Like, it's an absurd amount of like, I'm a sucker. Every time, like, I have to be stopped if we go to like the Goodwill or something, because if I see like, oh, look at that studio pottery mug, and it's like, Brie, you have 400 mugs. Like, but I'm gonna rescue it. It's gonna come home with me, and I'll love it.
But what's one more gonna do? Just like live a little. It's okay.
When I have a bigger house, I can live a little to bring that back full circle.
Yeah.
I wish we did have more like local pottery, because I think I would start investing in some more pieces and stuff.
You should look into it. We have a couple of art festivals here that I love, and like I can get such cool stuff at.
There's almost always like a pottery person, because we have a farmer's market every Saturday, and there's always like a crafty type market attached to it, and vendors rotate, but there's almost always like a pottery person there. I don't buy stuff because I'm trying to save money right now for Chicago in celebration. It's a kitty. Kitty.
Did you bribe
it? Yes,
but the people there always have like really cool like stuff. Like they have like a honey jar with the little beehive dipper and like plates and stuff.
Okay. Mosfet did not enjoy that he had to pay for the bribery, so he kicked me in the thorax.
Part 3, Joe. Luke started us off on the stream, and then Leia joined us.
Soren is being lazy because with the baby downstairs, he's not being harassed. Now that baby is like couch surfing and can like actively follow him, like the baby will not leave Soren alone.
Oh,
it's
no.
like he wants so badly to be Soren's best friend, and Soren is like, you cannot moderate how hard it is when you try to pet me. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say that I am on Soren's side.
Oh, I totally understand it. And I'm like, I'm not cranky with him when he's like, hard pass.
Yeah. What about Wally, though?
Wally loves him. Every day. So every day he wakes up and Wally is like right there next to his like little baby head. And he wakes up and he goes, like he's just somehow the most like surprised that he's like, I'm the most blessed baby. Look at this cat.
I feel like that's part of the issue. He can't understand like why Soren won't be like that when Wally is like
super patient with him. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that Soren isn't like patient enough. He's very patient for like a cat that is being harassed by a small child.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's over on the couch enjoying a little peace and quiet for once.
I am on it, like thinking about cats and small children. I'm honestly surprised that the cat that I grew up with didn't like move herself out when my sister and I were younger. And the fact that she would still, like when we were older, would like come to us for like pets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We did have a dog though, so I think our dog might have been like the primary animal we latched onto to annoy.
Yeah.
The poor harangued one.
Well, she loved it. She was a border collie and she was a failed sheepdog. Like that was the entire reason my mom and dad got her, was she had been born on a ranch and they were trying to get her to herd sheep. And she's like, I think I'd rather stay with the humans. So she was the perfect family dog because she didn't like have that strong herding instinct that most border collies do.
Yeah.
But she loved kids. Like when I was born, we used to live down the street from an elementary school. Mm-hmm. And a couple times she like got out and went to the daycare center at the elementary school because she was like, there are kids here. I just want to be with the children.
Look, they need a mama dog.
I mean, I just remember like us going to, like when I was little, we went to our cousins and they had this really like cranky mama cat. And I got told so many times that do not go disturb the cat. I was something like 5 or 6 years old, so I had no excuse, probably on the 5 side. And there's this like Finnish houses have like this thing called wind cabinet, or like a front parlor, where like it is this very small space, like a small room that is basically just for leaving your shoes in. You don't necessarily even leave your jackets in that, you just leave your shoes. And it's kind of detached.
We would call it a mud room here.
Yeah. So we like the cat had gone to the mud room to like rest. And I saw that it had gone there. I went there, I closed the door behind me, and I cornered the cat. The cat punched me in the face with full-on claws, and I started crying. I ran to my mom. My eye was like later I had a black eye like up to like here. like my eye just had like swollen almost shut because apparently she the cat like broke a vessel or something. And my mom looks at me and is like she looks at me, she's shocked for a minute. I still remember this, and then she just takes me by the shoulders and shakes me and is like, didn't I tell you not to touch the damn cat? And it's like classic Savonian mother is like, you don't get any sympathy.
I mean, in fairness, like, we've kind of been like, okay, at some point, Owen is not listening to us when we're like, because he's 9 months. He's not like old enough really to listen.
Yeah.
Like, when we tell him don't touch the cat, eventually it's just going to be like the cat scratches him and then he's going to learn the hard way. Like, but sometimes there's just nothing else you can do about it.
Yep. Sometimes I don't think like if it or like the thing when you think about like, is this memory traumatic or is it really funny?
Yeah.
It's funny now.
The answer can be two things.
Yeah. Like, is the reason I remember this like oddly specific memory from my childhood because it was a really traumatic experience anyway. I just thought that on hindsight it was kind of funny.
What have people been watching?
I started watching Strange New Worlds.
Oh, do you like it?
It's good. It's like
everybody's been saying it's good.
It's so good. So I haven't really been keeping up with a lot of the new track. I had been watching Prodigy, but I stopped. But I'm trying to get back into watching it. But Strange New Worlds is like exactly what I wanted. Like I wanted more episodic TV, and it's giving me that so far. Like there's certain like emotional beat through lines through the first couple of episodes, but that's as much serialization as we're getting. Like so there are only 2 episodes have aired, but each one is its own like self-contained story.
Okay. Because I've heard nothing but good things and I've been thinking about watching it.
It's just delightful. Like I like all the characters so far. Like I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, but like I love all the characters so far. Cadet Uhura is the cutest little bean. The pilot is a total babe. She has like an undercut and Bambi eyes. And is like cocky in the way that like a good pilot should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun so far. I'm really enjoying it.
Good.
And NWSL soccer is back, so I'm probably gonna be watching some games later today. Hi, handsome.
I ended up watching all of Heartstopper, and then Netflix recommended Young Royals to me, which I also consumed over like 2 days. And I never heard of Young Royals before. I knew I was going to like Heartstopper because I like the comic, but Young Royals is like, I think the pitch might have been like Swedish Gossip Girl, but with princes.
Yep. Pretty
And
much.
that's why I started watching, as I was like, I just kind of want to watch something trashy. And then it turned out to be really good. Like I got past the first episode and it was good.
I'm just personally not really like I kind of feel sorry for people who go into it being recommended it after watching Heartstopper, because Heartstopper is so full of like heart and like wholesome, and like it introduces like hard-hitting topics, but it approaches them in a very like hopeful kind of like these things just are, and it doesn't like dwell on the grit and grittiness, whereas Young Royals is kind of like,
oh yeah, I mean Heartstopper is
hard
like,
sometimes.
Heartstopper is fully supported young queer love. Like you just know there's going to be a happily ever after, and everybody is rooting for the main couple. Young Royals is, no, you cannot be together because of the institution of royalty in this kingdom, and suck it up. You know, it's like.
Yep.
The interesting thing for me about watching it, though, was the very realistic depiction of teenagers. Like, it's messy. The actors have acne and they show it. It was really interesting. I don't know if that's more of like a European or Scandinavian television thing, but they're attractive actors, but it's way more realistic.
Than a 24-year-old playing a 17-year-old?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So here's the thing, like at least in like bunch of Nordic countries, they have a specific, like when you, for example, cast young actors, that, like, for example, if you are cast for like the role of a 16 or 17-year-old, you are only allowed to have actors that are from like the age range pool, and that is like from 15 to, was it 24? So they don't even consider actors that are older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is definitely not the case in any American media.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So
Our
yeah,
favorite
Young
thing is
Royals ended up being pretty interesting. I really want the second season now. I like that it maybe sort of ended on the note of burn the institution down. Who knows?
I find that to be really interesting, considering that the Swedes tend to be really like, well, they're not as obsessed with the monarchy as, for example, the British seem to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but definitely the royal family is very like popular in their like Swedish conscience. Also, they're popular in Finland as well. So like I don't know why, but maybe it's because we don't have our own royalty that we need to like pilfer our neighboring royalty to like feel good.
I feel like that's why there's a huge bunch of like monarchists in the US, is because
we don't have one.
It's also like I'm usually kind of, if like, maybe it's just my personal thing being icky about it, because I'm like you do realize that we had like 500 years of Swedish royalty ruling over us, so I just feel like we don't necessarily need to be craving back to the old days.
Maybe Finns like them now that they've been kicked out or something. We can like you from afar now. You can't actually affect us.
True.
Like getting along with your parents better when you move out.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, Elise, really?
So Lisa met the Norwegian king when she was walking her with her cousins and their dog.
That's the level of casualness that I would expect from like Norwegian, Swedish royalty.
the former Finnish president has been in the same like hypermarket doing grocery shopping as I have.
I mean, admittedly, like my favorite person is not like my favorite nominal political person is the president of Ireland. He's just like a sweet little old man with his dogs. Yeah. And he doesn't really seem to do much of anything. He's just there to love on you. Like this adorable little grandpa.
Just what every political figure ever wants to hear.
Well, because I think like he's not technically the head of state.
Yeah.
That's the prime minister. Like he's more of like a ceremonial person.
That's my understanding.
I mean, with us, it's more like the prime minister and the president kind of share the duties of head of state, and the president is more about like foreign diplomacy. Like they don't have a lot of like powers in like domestic things.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. I am so ready to be on to mindless Stockinette Island on this.
I need to figure out, I say as I have like 3 different knitting projects in progress, something to bring with me to Celebration that I can work on, because I need more something to do with my hands. So I think I found a cow that I might do with some DK knit.
For a second, I thought you said cow. And I was like, I want to see a little cow stuffy. Please make it now.
Yeah, but I think I might make a cat, like, even though it's not, sweater weather anymore, I might make something that's relatively easy, like repetitive to do, that I can work on during panels.
Mm-hmm.
Sir. What is it that you want?
Your undying love and attention.
Probably.
All of that.
Look at this face.
Oh, such squish.
Why is he so adorable? Why do all of my cats, except Tesla, like hate being on my lap? And even Tesla is like, if I can switch your lap for a comfortable like office chair, I will do so.
He and Leia are such lap cats. Like, I have learned to stop like laying on my couch if I'm planning on making dinner in an hour, because they will get on my like lay on me and not move for a couple of hours. And so I'm just kind of like SOL if I want to eat.
I miss Hedda because, like, not only for this reason, but especially for this reason, because she would lay on my lap for hours on end.
Hi, handsome. You making some good biscuits?
Yeah. We've been watching. Well, we've been watching a couple things, but the one that I think I have gotten the most of a kick out of has been Miss Sherlock, which is
that the Japanese one?
Yeah, it's Japanese. It's it has very strong like BBC Sherlock vibes, but Sherlock is a woman, Watson is a woman, and there's just an infinite more cheese, right? Like it's not the like intense like moments. Those are kind of there, but there's just a lot of like, why is that person standing this way kind of stuff. And I have been really enjoying it.
Yeah,
So
I've been mostly replaying Dragon Age, which I can't remember if I was doing last time we talked, but I'm into Inquisition.
Okay.
And I'm actually playing a dude because I wanted to romance Dorian.
Okay.
And oh, there's a kitty!
Oh, my shoulder! My poor shoulder. Tesla.
And the Dorian romance is super sweet so far.
Good.
But yeah, I think this will probably be my last full playthrough until they give us a firm release date for Dragon Age 4, and then I'll do another full playthrough.
I'm 0% surprised to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I've already decided that my next full playthrough is going to be the Romance the Apostate playthrough. So I will be playing a dude in Origin, so I can finally romance Morrigan, even though she should have been bi. She has mean bisexual energy. I will go back and romance Anders again, even though I might chicken out and romance Meryl instead, because I don't like the Anders romance for the sole reason that towards the end of the game, if you like exhaust his question wheel, he does the "if you truly loved me, you wouldn't question me, or you wouldn't be asking these questions," which is like my big red line in the sand of, okay, we are not doing this anymore.
I am giving you the thing. Just wait.
So he is my least favorite Dragon Age 2 romance that I've done. And then I will romance Solus again, even though I know it's a bad idea. In Inquisition.
No, don't steal.
I kind of want you to like Twitch stream this so I can watch you play.
So here, I don't know. So with Origins and 2, I won't be able to do it because I only have it on my PS3. So I'd have to like get an Xbox so I could play them and stream.
See, my thing is I have a hard time like sitting through the part where of video games where like I have to press the buttons and do the grinding and all of that stuff. I like the story part. And so I really love like a good Let's Play or, you know, that kind of vibe. And
So
would 100% watch.
Wait. Jesus.
No, you have the food, Rhea. Give them the food.
Now.
Poor Hermes hasn't gotten a single treat because these assholes keep stealing it from right under his nose. I'm trying to like give Hermes a little kibble and these are like slap.
You have little vampire fangs, sir. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not going to be till 2023 when I do a full replay again. But Bree, if you want, maybe we can coordinate something for like Mass Effect.
Yes.
Because that I could stream, because the Legendary Edition, I have it on PS5. It's on my PS5, so I can definitely like live stream that.
Awesome.
I would need to get a camera set up though, because I currently don't have one.
Like,
Hello,
but yeah,
Paige.
we can work it out somehow.
this was too successful a plan. These bribes are almost out.
Have you?
Okay,
Huh?
Tesla.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, have you or your partner played Horizon Forbidden West yet?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Horizon. What's the Dawn?
So the first one's Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, he's played Horizon Zero Dawn, not Forbidden West yet.
Okay.
Though when I've seen it, I've always been like, so when are you going to play that one so I can I have to be careful with anything that's first person though, because it makes me a little sick to my stomach.
It's not first person though.
It's third person.
Awesome.
Okay. No more. You are done.
Oh no, there could be more hidden somewhere.
Yeah. What about if Tesla just like licks your hands for 45 minutes or something?
Oh, look at that belly.
Look at that snuggle.
He's very snuggleable. Like, you can do everything. Like, look at this.
I wish I could do that. Luke and Leia are both. Well, Leia can get it away with a little more. Luke is just super squirmy. Yeah, you're squirmy.
All of, like, Hermes and Mosfet are like squirmy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But Tesla is lethargic for the both of them. Like, he's just very malleable. I just feel like it's because he, like, Volt has been like handling him ever since he's been like small. So now he's just used to being manhandled. And has learned to weirdly enjoy it. Because you should hear this purr. It's like a deep rumble.
So cat related. There's a foster kitten account that I follow, and they have this one kitten who's like super standoffish but is super cute. I'm like, I don't need a third cat, but I'm so tempted. Luke and Leia can show her how to be a lap cat.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna send it to the chat so you can see her.
You may not need a third cat, but the cat needs you.
Well, I'm also a little worried that Luke and Leia are gonna be little punks and beat the kitten up.
That is a legit worry, though.
Yeah, that is.
Sometimes when cats have an established dynamic, it's very hard to introduce a new one.
Yeah, and with these two, because they are a bonded pair, I'm like adding a third cat would probably like not be a good time for anyone. Yeah, you two are little punks.
I'm just watching the cat tail.
Excuse you, sir.
I mean, I have been lately. I just finished watching the Korean drama Business Proposal, and I also finished watching 2521, which was kind of like a romance, but it was also a sports drama about these two girls who are in the like Korean national fencing team, and it's also a period drama because it takes place in the 90s.
Oh God, I'm not ready.
And early 2000s. But it was actually really good. It was kind of refreshing because it's basically like, what did you do? Assholes! They just knocked over my whole trash can.
Oh, boo.
Well, I guess I'm gonna clean that up later. But anyway, it's basically about like first love, and the whole idea of the like story is like it's because it is kind of like a dual timeline that it follows both the past and how they end up together, and then in the present timeline, like where the other party has kind of moved on and has kids, and it's kind of like following like how did we get there and stuff. So it was kind of refreshing because it's all about first love and also like how to healthily get over your first love. So it was actually, would recommend. It was a pretty good show. And I have also been watching DuckTales. I now have, as I have since like the last couple of times since we've talked, I'm now in the very last season.
I need to watch the last season, so I've been putting it off because I'm not ready for it to end.
I'm just like, every time, like, I watch the episode where Glomgold goes to like the Scrooge's funeral, and he just like he just goes there in like this full sequined bling outfit and like twerks on Scrooge's like coffin. And I'm like, I love this character so much. Like I don't know why I have this like weird unexplainable fascination and love. Like, he's my favorite character in the whole series. Like, he's a jealous hater and a billionaire. He should not be relatable, but for some reason I'm like, I see myself in this weird wannabe Scottish duck.
DuckTales.
And we watched Space Weepers with Rachel.
Oh, that's right. We did.
I need to watch that because it's on the Hugo's Balance.
I know. Well, that's why I wanted to watch it too. It was actually very enjoyable.
I've heard good things.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about it before we started watching it. I didn't know it was going to be like a drama or a comedy or the plot or anything.
Kind of all of those in the same package.
It was genuinely funny, and yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Also, if you just want to go in and and watch Richard Armitage have like the best time of his life as the villain.
Yes.
We watched Moon Knight, which I have feelings about.
I need to watch that.
Okay.
I also finished watching the first season.
I will say that the main female character occasionally gives me very Evie from the Mummy vibes, but like, what if Evie from the Mummy were like super confident in what she were doing?
You have my attention.
And also Egyptian.
And also Egyptian. It might in no small part have to do with her haircut. I'm not sure. So I'll be interested in hearing if there's anything about her personally, if that doesn't, or if it's like, Brie, you're just in love with that haircut, maybe. And also, of course, there's Oscar Isaac, who's wonderful.
Yes. I do love me some Oscar Isaac.
I don't know if you can tell, but my neighbors are now playing basketball right outside my window.
You're fine. I don't hear anything.
Every time that basketball
Another square joint
screams. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, I got a really awesome new cookbook.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so colorful.
Wait, Rick Martinez.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, I like need to try so many things, but the problem with living by myself is that so many of the recipes are like serve 6 to 8. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be like 2 weeks.
I just automatically do like half recipes from most cookbooks.
I honestly should for this because like there's just so much good stuff, and he also has like essays in here as well.
Cool.
So he has like essays talking about his family or like the different places he's traveled. He has one on Dia de los Muertos. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's a beautiful book. Like, it is absolute, like, there's like the colors.
Oh,
that's gorgeous.
It like the production value on this book is amazing.
That now I'm just hungry.
That just reminds me of all the places I want to go to eat at in Chicago.
Oh my gosh.
I still need to buy my plane ticket.
Like,
But
I need to have like a full on itinerary just for like various food establishments.
We'll probably plan it.
What I might do is, because I don't know how people are gonna, but like I want to organize a trip to the Pilsen district, because that's like the Mexican American Latinx district.
Yes.
Because like I just want to stuff delicious food in my face.
Yes. We should do that on like between the Wednesday, Thursday when I am there, because I am super into that.
Yeah. The other thing I definitely would like food wise, and this is something I can do by myself, but Chicago is like one of the few places in the US where there's a Nando's, and I miss Nando's so much. So I might just go with my friend like beforehand, be like, Jen, Nando's, please.
I think we should definitely make a day where we get. Well, we should just do Pilsen. I was going to say we should get tamales and make Joe eat them because they're amazing. And I'm sure, Joe, that you haven't had tamales.
What are tamales?
Tamales are like corn masa. So it's
like a cornmeal.
Yeah, cornmeal. Yeah. And you mix it with fat and stock, and then you put stuff in it. And so like the traditional one is normally like pork with red chili or chicken. My family also will do a vegetarian version, which is pepper jack cheese and pickled.
Oh, is it related to arepas?
Arepas are Colombian and Venezuelan, so those are different.
Yeah, and
I've never had tamales.
Well, and then with tamales, so you wrap them in either banana leaves or corn husks, depending on where you are, and then you steam them.
Yeah.
And then you can freeze them, and then you can have tamales forever. My Grammy always makes like a ton of tamales and then like gives us like huge Ziploc bags full.
Yeah, so I try to make tamales around Christmas time every year, but I don't know that it's worth all of the effort if you're not going to make like 500 tamales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like we just have them in the freezer for the rest of the year. And they're
that basically sounds like my family, except with Karelian pies.
Yeah.
It's like there's a whole day that you just like congregate with the whole family just to bake Karelian pies. So that everyone can have a batch.
Yeah. And so for like context, like when I make mine, I make it with stock, and then we buy a full pig between me and my mother. Yes,
these are tamales.
Yeah.
So we do home rendered lard for our fat, which is the way to go if you don't mind lard. Some people don't like lard. It's fine. I understand. We do try to make a veggie option, but what?
Yeah. My Grammy normally just buys her masa because she lives in a really like heavily Mexican, like Chicano area. So she just, there are places where you can just like buy masa and like she'll doctor it herself, but like the pre-mixed stuff she'll buy. And just strong opinions about which place has the best masa.
Now I'm really hungry. I need to go eat something.
I'm like very tempted because they're closed today. Shit. The Pupusa food truck finally has a permanent home, and they're very good, but I forgot they're closed on Sundays.
So,
I have noticed now that because I'm trying to shift to a more like gluten-free diet. We just today had we found out that one of our local like pizza chains offers like gluten-free like pizza dough. Nice. So we bought pizza there, and it was actually really delicious. I'm sometimes very skeptical about like gluten-free food items, because sometimes they're tasteless. It's very like here.
Yeah, it's
pay €4 a piece for this cardboard that you're gonna eat.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of like vegan food. Gluten-free stuff seems to be better when it's not trying to absolutely emulate the thing it's replacing, but to kind of be its own thing and to have good seasoning and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence about the cauliflower crust for pizza. I've had it twice now, and I'm like, like I can tell that it's cauliflower.
I mean,
it's not bad, but I can tell it's cauliflower.
I will say that I have really liked to like have like now that I've found the magic that is corn and rice flour, and that you can mix them up sometimes to like make different types of like bread, for example.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I am saved now because I cannot survive without bread. I am a bread hoarder. I can't live without it.
I've recently just found out that I'm probably have developed a gluten intolerance. That's probably been the cause of a lot of stuff. And I'm like, this sucks because like my comfort cooking is comfort baking.
Yeah.
Like I can't just make muffins anymore. So I think I'm gonna have to learn like the principles of gluten-free baking.
But
yeah.
I will say that it's so weird because like I immediately like notice that when I've had like I'm not fully gluten free yet. I'm more like have like autoimmune related gluten sensitivity than anything else. But I've noticed that if I go like 2 days with like a mostly gluten free diet, like my joint pain and joint inflammation is immediately alleviated. It's so bizarre, but you like I can immediately just like, oh, today I don't have that much pain. I can actually move around. This is fantastic.
Rachel, King Arthur flour supposedly has a pretty good 1-for-1 replacement.
I think so. There's one grocery store in my town that actually kind of caters towards like vegan and organic and gluten-free stuff, and they carry a lot of things like that. So I may have to start experimenting. I did make gluten-free pancakes the other day with just like oat flour and almond flour because I had those on hand already. I was like, this is surprisingly good.
I basically made banana bread one time where I changed up because it used like regular like flour, like what's the word for vehna? I don't know. Anyway, the regular white flour.
All-purpose flour, white all-purpose flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I
don't know the names of the grains anymore. English is failing me.
Like a wheat flour.
Yes, wheat. Okay. Wheat. Yes, that is the thing. Vehna. Yeah. I replaced that with almond flour, and then like there's this like very like fine soy kind of flour that like that's processed in a way that it doesn't have the gluten in it anymore, but it kind of has the same texture as wheat flour would. So it doesn't get sticky in the same way that like non-glutinous flours tend to do. And that was actually really nice. I didn't have to put in much because the banana was already kind of replacing egg and like other things. Yeah. So it was actually very, very good.
I should probably go looking for a cookbook and just kind of explore this because if I don't have alternatives on hand, I will slip up. And then I spend 3 days in pain going, oh God, why did I do that? So
now I'm hungry.
Yeah. I just realized that we might have dumplings in the freezer and I might have to steam some for myself before I go to sleep.
That sounds good. God, I'm like legit sad because I got excited for one moment about pupusas and now I'm just like curses.
What I'm hearing is we may all need to disband for snacks.
Yeah.
By the way, I just recently I was I was walking around town and I saw two new yarn stores, like really well stocked yarn stores in Helsinki. And now I just want everyone to come to Helsinki so that I can show people around all the yarn stores.
How do you
Because now
have
we
more
have
than
yarn
one?
stores.
How do you have more than one? That's amazing.
I
Well-
wish there was a yarn store here. Ours closed several years ago.
Well, there's the like outlet that's like a 2-story store.
You live right
Um,
next door to it. I'm
Yeah,
insanely
that's
jealous.
the one I most like. Like they have an online shop and they have like also the whole like it's weird because it's almost kind of like this, like they keep expanding to other businesses. Like every time one business closes in the mall, like they seem to take it over, and they just like in the few years that I've lived here, it's like they started out like in this one little like lot for businesses, and now they've expanded to like 2 separate floors, and I suspect, because I recently walked past another empty like business and they had yarn inside, and I'm like,
Oh,
they're
dang.
gonna expand to that one too, aren't they? Because they're like one of the biggest yarn retailers. They like resell and distribute.
Yeah.
So
That's like Webs.
Yeah.
Someday I want to go to Northampton and go to the Webs store.
Webb's is so nice. That's where I went to college, and I went there a couple of times, and it's so nice.
Is it really big? I get the feeling like
So it's been a while since I've been. I remember it being big. One of my college friends was this was before I got into knitting. But she was super into knitting and like had to give herself a yarn budget.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Although
We
right now it's fiber for me, not yarn. It's fiber.
Yeah.
Somebody needs
We have
to
like
block
4 or
that.
5. Sorry. We have like 4 or 5 yarn shops here. And I think we just have the benefit of like living in an icy tundra for, not quite 2/3 of the year. And so enough people
I mean,
people knit
That
fiber.
helps. It also helps if like it's like Twin Cities hippie as well. So
True.
I mean, I suspect that's part of the reason why the Helsinki metropolitan area has so many like yarn and fabric and craft stores in general.
Yeah.
Is that like, first of all, it's like basically baked into the culture to make
Yeah.
things yourself, and also like we live in a snowy hellscape for like half of the year.
And Minnesota in general is really into like crafts, artisan, like do-it-yourself stuff. That's just, I think, like every weekend here, there's like an arts and crafts fair, like in the summer. Like
I wish we had.
Look,
I'm actually really pleased. This is turning out quite nicely.
It is turning out really nice. I'm going to continue slowly over time my petition to get everybody to move to Minnesota so you can be like in my neighborhood.
Okay, but counterpoint. I really don't want to deal with that much winter.
I mean,
Counterpoint. I do the Pacific Northwest, but like the weird, like underhanded Oregon racism makes me uncomfortable.
That's fair. That is completely fair. Like I would not recommend anyone move to Oregon.
And I can afford my house here.
That is also true.
I mean, I don't want.
I'm like, a delicate California flower. I don't know how I would deal with Midwest winter.
I personally would really love to hang out with my friends more, but I also, not to get too dark here, but I also love the Nordic healthcare model.
Look, nobody here can argue with that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do a where to find us so that everybody can go and get snacks, since we talked ourselves into snacks.
Yes.
Okay. Who starts?
I can start. You can find me at Bookish Die on Twitter and YouTube, and I will probably have a video up in the next couple of days.
I am Kalanati pretty much everywhere. So you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram. Instagram is mostly just garden pictures right now. And on YouTube. And I will probably have some sort of wrap up on my channel at some point this month. So getting back into the groove of talking about what I've read.
So I'm Rhea, and I'm at the Bookfinch on YouTube and Twitter. And tomorrow, Translate-a-thon will begin. So I will have the next 2 weeks my hands full of hosting that. I'm going to be hosting live sprints during the weekends. And also, there might be a couple videos coming up. At least I filmed one today. So there's hope that there is one in the works. And yesterday I had a live stream for my April wrap-up, so a recording of that is already up on my channel as well. So you may watch that if you want to know about all the webtoons I read once again, because that's apparently, this is a WebTube channel now.
And I'm Bree, and I am here at Bree Reads Books, and that's my handle basically everywhere. I'm probably most active over on Instagram. I occasionally show my face on Twitter. Hopefully I will be showing my face here more. We'll see. I should have some stuff in the works, but it takes forever. So don't count on it until you see a post somewhere. I guess. That's what we've got for you guys today, but thank you all for joining us. And next time we are on Ray's.
Right. Are we on Rachel's? Ow, my shoulder. Damn you.
Were we just on mine?
I don't remember anymore. We are on someone's channel.
We'll be on someone's channel next month.
We will let you know.
We'll let you know. So keep an eye on Twitter, because that is where we tend to post first and foremost. So we will see everybody later.
Go get snacks.
Yes, go eat, and then go sleep if you are in Europe.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.